folks, welcome to Helen, Roscoe Yoga on YouTube. I hope you're okay. In this session today we're going to be looking at alternative explorations of downward facing dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. In a previous practice I explored perhaps the pose a little bit more traditionally using all fours. In today's session we're going to look at other ways that we could explore this posture and have similar effects on the system. And just really to spark a sense of curiosity and creativity around our practice as well. So let's get started. We're going to start in a standing position, and what I'd like you to do to begin with is have a bit of a sense of moving and kind of jiggling around a little bit. And you can do this kind of in your own way, or you can follow what I'm doing. Any support that you might need for your balance, just taking that when you need to. Hand on the wall, so jiggling through one leg and moving that knee as if you're moving from your hip around. And when you feel ready to move that over to the opposite side, doing the same thing. So start small with the jiggle and then invite it to get a little bit more and a little bit more. Perhaps then moving the foot around as if your hip, your knee, your ankle, your foot all kind of moving in different directions. When you feel ready to settle that, invite your feet to be on the ground and then take it into your arms. So a little bit into the hands and the wrists to begin. Maybe a sense of letting go, imagine there's water on your fingertips. And then taking yourself through some kind of arm circling actions, jiggling around in different directions. This sort of thing can be really great when we're feeling a bit restless or agitated in our bodies, or even a bit anxious. Kind of helps to bring us in through movement that we might be familiar with, but also a sense of letting go of tension. And when you've done that for a few moments, invite yourself to come into a sense of stillness. Invite your feet to firmly connect themselves towards the ground. You could also be on a chair, bringing your feet onto the ground and taking those jiggles from a chair as well. So in some way, finding yourself settling, and notice how you feel. So then coming into the present moment through the sensations that arise. Bringing your awareness to your breath. And just noticing, try not to change anything. Bring your conscious attention to the breath, a conscious connection to the breath. And then when you're ready to invite your hands onto your shoulders, we're waiting for a breath in, and we're taking one arm up towards the sky, stretching the other elbow away. As you exhale, sweep the elbows, take a breath in, the other elbow reaches up as your opposite elbow moves away. Exhale, inhale. As I exhale, I'm softening into my knees a little. As I inhale, I'm lengthening, and I'm going to start to invite my gaze to get involved, looking up towards the elbow. As long as that doesn't feel like it's adding unnecessary tension to your neck and shoulders. So downward facing dog is kind of weight-bearing, load-bearing for your shoulders. It's a stability-based posture, especially for your shoulder girdle. So it can be useful to prepare your shoulders. And also invite length in your body as well, because it's a lengthening shape, especially along the sides of the body. If we can find ease on the sides of the body, perhaps when we take the pose, we might be more able to have greater ease or feelings of ease in the body. I'm just inviting a sense of flow with my breath. When I've done that a few times, I'm going to stretch my arms away from each other, and at that point, perhaps the gaze just starts to expand above you. So from a chair, I would be looking at moving the arms away from one another as you enjoy the same reach, the feet grounding. So explore this for a few more rounds at your own pace. And then come back, just kind of notice how you feel. Notice what's there. Notice the shifts. And then we're going to start to explore balance. A sense of reaching to one side as the opposite foot just lifts a little, perhaps the toes on the ground, and then your gaze moving in the direction of that top arm. Breathe into that shape as you exhale, knees come down, little bend. Inhale to the opposite side. So a sense of expansion through the in-breath, exhale, anchoring down through maybe a kind of goddess shape, a wide leg squat on the in-breath, moving into a sense of balance. When you've done this a few times, you might find it useful to stay for a few breaths and explore your balance, or you might find it curious or playful to stay and think about changing your shape as you go through as well. So really anchoring down through the feet, and then a sense of expansion through the body. And I'll just show you how that could be from a chair, sense of moving from one side to the other, and then bringing the heels down, having that contact. It could be that one leg slides away. So there's this feeling of playing with your balance, and explore that a few times to each side. So when you're ready to come to stillness, pause, take a breath in, shrug the shoulders up, sigh the breath on the exhale. And then hands towards your hip creases, feet shoulder no wider than hip distance. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, slide your hands down towards your ankles. And as you inhale, come halfway as if you're in a tabletop position. The shoulders are away from your ears. Exhale and fold. So in that halfway position, it's quite similar really to the shape that we might find ourselves in down dog. The knees can be released. Spine is in this more neutral position. We're not extending, we're not flexing. This rounded position moves the spine into flexion. And so then we find neutral curves about halfway and maintain those neutral curves through the core. From a chair, you have your hands on the knees and you can slide them down. So you find the rounded position of the body over the chair, and then a breath in, halfway, shoulders lift. So exploring very similar shapes from a chair as you can from standing. And allow the breath to be the movement, the in-breath to the halfway point, the exhale to the rounded position. And when you feel ready to come up, slowly transition, bring yourself upright. Side breath there. Notice how you feel. And then we're going to bring ourselves down towards the ground. So we're coming into supine position, back of the body on the ground. And we're thinking about bringing the heels fairly close towards your bottom. And in the next sequence, we're going to take a bridge and then an upward raised legs, and we're combining the two shapes. So I'd like you to maybe watch for a round and then join in when you feel ready. Take a breath in, and the hips, pelvis, the spine raises from the ground. And on the exhale, lowering the spine and then the pelvis and bringing the knees into the tummy. And then on the breath in, the heels raise, the arms go back, lengthening. Think of your down dog shape. And then on the exhale, the hands come down, the knees to the chest. Inhale, the feet come down, pelvis and spine lift. Exhale, lowering spine and pelvis, knees come in. So from the ground, if you explore this maybe 4 times in total, and I'm just going to show a chair variation for this same sequence. So from the ground, we're moving from bridge on a breath in, and then all on a breath out, the knees come in, and then the arms move, and we explore that down dog shape from the earth, upward raised legs, lowering down. So continuing to move through those two shapes with your breath. And then if you're practicing on a chair, bridge positions, lifting the chest, the arms are away from you. And then we want to think about folding. This would be as if the knees are coming in over the you come up, lifting the chest, stretch one leg away from you. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, the other leg moves away. So I'm showing you this because some of you will be working from the ground, some of you will be working from the chair. And it's a way that you can incorporate people with coordination, mobility, balance, issues that maybe are prohibiting them from getting down to the ground, but they're still able to enjoy very similar shapes with the body, but not necessarily taking them how we might be taking them, or you might be taking them from the ground. But just thinking of opposite ways that we can do it when we need to. In the bridge shape, the chest lifts and the arms move away. So exploring that pattern, I'll just do one more on the ground in case you're still there. The knees come in, arms go up. Exhale, knees come in, feet come down, breath in, raise to bridge. And when you feel ready to soften from this, just allow your pelvis, your spine to rest and take a few moments there. Softening down through your breath. And by the sigh. So we're going to revisit this upward raised leg position. I'd like you to move your mat towards the wall. So I'm just going to be changing my position in relationship to you, so that your bottom can come in close towards the wall. And then take a block or something equivalent to a block. You might have a bolster or a cushion you could use as well. And we're going to be bringing our bottom really close up to the wall, and feet and legs move up the wall. So we're snuggling in quite close here, and we're going to be fairly active in this pose. Take hold of your prop in between your hands and take it behind you so that your arms are extended and lifted. Now, depending on the size of your prop, if you're holding a bolster, your arms might be further away. But I'd like you to have a sense of pressing down through the tail as you lift through the heels. And maybe the balls of the feet draw towards you, so the toes draw towards you. And then active in your arms. Can you imagine the shape of down dog and how you might be able to have a similar effect here? The abdomen, the core, the navel can draw in. The arms are active. Maybe soften the knees even to have that sense of what it is when you're in down dog, and you soften the knees and the tail can press down. So explore this for a number of breaths. And just to show you how that would look from a chair, extending the heels out away from you and taking a block or a bolster above the head. And there's a slight lean in the torso, so you have this kind of hinge effect in the hips. Slightly more active than we would be if we were sat with the feet on the ground, but even this would be similar in terms of this engagement in the body that you might find you have in down dog, pressing down through the feet. So exploring some options here for a down dog alternative can be really useful, not just for yourself, but for the people that you're teaching. And when you feel ready to soften that position from the chair, it's quite demanding on the arms. We're just going to support ourselves, resting the head onto the hands from the wall position. Soften the grip on your block. You can keep your feet up if you'd like to, if you're comfortable here, but start to invite more of a softening in the position. So we've gone from being fairly active, well, maybe not just fairly active, maybe it's felt very active, to then softening, and your arms can come away from you and your legs can release. So there's just less effort in the body. And then focus a little more on your breath. With each exhale, invite a softening. With each inhale, sense of expansion. And when you feel ready to come back, rolling onto your side if you're on the ground, and then slowly bringing yourself upright. And we're going to come into some seated shapes. So from your mat, you might like to have a blanket, folded blanket or a block underneath your bottom. And stretching your legs out in front of you. Just take a few moments to get comfort here. Stroking along your legs, maybe underneath your knees, around the tops of your thighs. And bringing your hands towards the hip creases. The same would be in a chair. If you're sat on a chair, the knees are bent, your feet are on the ground. You bring your hands to your hip creases. Take a breath in and then start to slide your hands about halfway so your chest is lifted. Take a breath in here and then on the exhale invite yourself to round and fold over your legs. On the breath in, can you slide halfway again? Not too much tension in your feet, but still imagine your down dog shape. Maybe even explore taking the arms alongside your ears with that hinge shape, that kind of triangular shape in your body. What happens when there's kind of more effort and engagement, and then what happens when there's softness as you release your shoulders away, perhaps move your head. Exploring some different positions that you could apply to the posture. When you feel ready to bring yourself from this position, raising your head, your feet can come onto the floor. Perhaps you'd like to just invite your knees to rock from side to side. Again, taking the same position on the chair, shaking the knees from side to side. Maybe we come back into that little shake out like we did earlier. And then taking a comfortable position of your choice, seated, either cross-leg on a chair, or you could have your feet out in front of you. Noticing the breath once more. As you breathe in, can you find a sense of balance in your spine, as if lengthening through to the crown of your head? As you breathe out, can you soften your shoulders away from your ears and invite your pelvis to settle as if a bulb in the earth, surrounded by soil, roots penetrating down. Come to a quality of space and expanse on the in-breath, and a softening, a letting go on the out-breath. Can you open your mouth and move your jaw, your tongue over your teeth? You can stay here for longer if you wish. When you feel ready to return, just bowing to the ground, to the earth, honouring the earth, honouring your body, your breath and mind, and honouring the teachings of yoga. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this exploration. I would love to know how you got on. Please do leave a comment below, and if you haven't done so already, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.